If you're new to my YouTube channel, please click that subscribe button and remember to click the bell icon to get notifications of all my uploads throughout the week. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So it's Saturday and the house is quiet. Mr. Bentley is fast asleep after having a very long walk this morning, and Ian's gone out for the morning on various errands and jobs, and I thought I would come upstairs and have a play and break out some of my old resources. Now I have a little drawer full of old re-inkers that are from stamping up ink pads that I no longer have, and some of these bottles are brand new, they've never been opened, and there's a variety of different colours in here. I've got reds and greens and blues and pinks and yellows, just sitting there not doing anything and not earning their keep. So what I thought I would do today is just have a play with those, some water and some just very basic plain household kitchen towel, and I'm going to create some backgrounds to use in my art journals later on. So I've got 3 or 4 sheets of this kitchen towel, and it's a 2-ply kitchen towel, so almost like a napkin. So it is quite thick, but probably I'll be able to break it apart at a later date. So let me just switch over to my overhead camera and I'll just show you the idea that I have in my head. So this is the first sheet of kitchen towel. Now for measurement wise, it's probably, it says grabbing a ruler, it's about 8 inches by about 8 inches. So that's about 20 centimetres by about 20 centimetres. Let's just do a quick double check. Well, according to this, it's 21 centimetres, so almost. So you get the idea of the size. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of those re-inkers and I'm just going to put drops of ink around the tissue. Just like that. And I know that I'm going to have to put these to one side to let them dry sufficiently later on. So this is just a variety of different colours. I've got some greens and blues here. So this one's called Coastal Cabana, which I remember was a beautiful kind of rich blue. I'm just going to drop them around. That will do for that. It doesn't look much as it is. And then I've got some kind of pinky red. It's cantaloupe, this colour it says. So I'm going to drop that in between. And you can see the colour wicking out. Just individual single colours. One more little drop just there, maybe another one there. And then all I'm going to do is just take a spritz bottle and I'm going to just hit it. Now this should encourage the ink to wick out even further. See, I should have had filled the water bottle up. It's all starting to collect and wick quite nicely, and of course that's going to be very fragile now because I've wet it, which is fine because I can now just very carefully just manoeuvre it slightly. I've got some of that ink on my hands now, so with one of the other sheets I can just drop that on, but also I can lay that over the top. and then just peel it apart, and then we get 2 for the price of 1. And then we can just hit that with a heat gun. It may take a few minutes, so I will do this and then I'll jump to the end where I've dried them all off again. Right, it's taking quite a while for me to dry these off, so this is what I'm going to do. It's snowing outside at the moment, which means that it's very, very cold, which also means that I've got the heating on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these over the top of the radiator, which is in my art room, and I'm going to allow the radiator to dry those off naturally. So I'm just going to drop those on the radiator and then I'll come straight back. Okay, so while they're drying over the radiator, I've got another 2 sheets here, and this time I have a nice brown colour, so we've got a nice kind of vintagey brown colour. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Just drop little snippets of colour. One more there. And then I'm going to grab that beautiful kind of blue colour again, because one of my favourite colour combinations is kind of like tealy and brown, and I'm going to put quite a bit, just dot it around. Little ones up there. And then we're going to blast that with some water again and watch it all start to wick. I have replenished my water bottle. There we go. It all starts to wick out and spread. I can push more water into certain areas, make it darker, make it lighter, just by adding more water, but also I could drop other colours now while that's wet just onto the top. So I have an olive colour here. So where I can see the white kind of in the background, I can drop just little touches of that olive colour. Just to give it a little bit of difference. Now I'm avoiding adding any kind of pinks or reds into this, because green and red obviously just makes brown, and I've already added brown into it. So again, just give that a little bit of encouragement, just to wick a little. And then I'm going to place this one over the top. So again, we get 2 for the price of 1. Make sure it all goes in. And then very, very carefully separate the 2. I think I pressed down a little bit too hard on that one. There we go. And then lift that off. And then we have a mirror over here. So we've got a darker version and a lighter version there. So again, I'm going to give that a quick blast with a heat gun, just to take off a little bit of the colour, and also just to make it easier to handle. So grab the heat gun. Of course, with these being 2-ply kitchen towels, if we're able to separate them successfully, it means that we've actually got 4 then we can use for backgrounds. And of course they're textured too, which gives it even more of an appeal. So I'll carry on and dry these off. I'll probably do exactly the same thing again, but this time put them on a different radiator, and I'll be right back. Okay, so it's now been about half an hour while these have been sitting on the radiator, and as you can see with this one, because this was still a little bit wet when I put it over the radiator, that line that you can see there is the actual radiator line. So some of the ink has actually sunk down to the bottoms and actually bleached out a bit where it's been over the top. So an unpredictable process. So as you can see, they're a bit murky but still quite colourful, and these two have come out rather well, I think. So they're lovely. Perfect just for putting to one side and using in an art journal as a background paper. Now, because the kitchen roll is designed to hold moisture for mopping up spills and that kind of thing, they're perfect and they're stronger. Unlike normal tissue paper or a normal napkin, when it gets wet, it'll just fall to pieces. That's why I decided to use the kitchen roll, because actually it is quite tough, even when it's wet, but when it dries again, it's just as strong as before. So, but they can be torn and used. Now, I'm going to use one of these darker ones now because there's another little process that I want to try. Now, obviously, this is quite a darkish background. I want to try and add in a little bit of texture and stuff in the background with this. So to do that, I'm going to introduce another liquid. So I'm just going to go grab it and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back. I have a plastic lid. I have a piece of household bath sponge. I have a stencil. In this case, it's one of my new stencils. This is Arrowhead or Arrows, which will be available to purchase from January. And I have some bleach. So I'm going to spray. It's like a foam bleach. So I'm just going to spray some in there, and then I'm going to just pick up a little bit of that bleach on the sponge, just work it in, and then I'm going to go over. And we should start to see the colour lifting where I've gone through with that bleach. And again, just using household items. So stuff that you probably already have in your stash. So you've probably got stencils, you've probably got old inks. Just sitting there, not doing anything. And you've probably got bleach in your kitchen or in your bathroom. And not many people use it as an art resource. So as you can see, it's lifted that colour wonderfully. I'll just go back over here. That's going to create some really, really nice texture in the background. And of course, you can pop that to one side, grab your heat tool, and then just give it a quick blast just to set it. The longer you leave it, the whiter it will become. So that gives us a really nice kind of texture in the background. Sorry. So there you go, that's now completely dry, and it has given us another completely different look. Absolutely love it. And very, very cost effective. It's literally cost nothing to go out and buy because you've got this stuff in your collection already. So I'm just going to have a go with this one. So again, just add some of that bleach in, lift off, drop it down, and just let that colour come through. Just like that. And then if you want to, well, I've gone a little bit too far then, I've had a little bit too much bleach on the sponge, but never mind. You can always tear that piece off. There, and then go the opposite way. Like so. Just have fun with it. Just create different backgrounds. Cool. So I've now got two different styles, also two lovely kind of pieces of tissue that I can use in a project. Now for the next one, let me just clear up that excess bleach. Just get rid of that. I'll put my stencil on there so I don't accidentally knock it before I've got a chance to clean it. Just grab the other two sheets in. Now we've got really nice sort of backgrounds there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a stamp. Let's see, what have I got to hand? Right, I've got a indigo blue stamp. This is one of their collector's edition stamps. So this is number 12, the Seahorse. Haven't had a chance to cut it out yet, but I'll get a little block. Stamp block. I think I might be able to get away without actually not trimming it out. Like so. And then I'm going to grab some blue ink. Let's see what I've got in my collection. There we go, I've got some cobalt. So I've got archival ink, cobalt. Let's ink that seahorse up. And then let's drop it down. Now because this is textured tissue, you might not necessarily get a perfect impression, but that's fine. And do another one down here. Remember, this is just to go into a background. And then do another one up there. Hehe, love it. And one more down there. And then if you want to, turn it upside down, because they don't always have to face the same way. Top and tail. That way there's no right way or wrong way or up or down when you stick everything together or stick it down in your art journal or canvas or whatever it is you end up doing with your bits. So even after you've done the background, you can still add to that. Now this is archival ink, which means that it's permanent when dry. So even if you wanted to re-wet this and add some more colour, this ink wouldn't move. So we've got a kind of inky, splurgy background. We've got some stamping over the top. Now you can stamp anything at all. Now I just happen to have an old script stamp here that I just spotted lurking under something else. So let's use that on the other one. and just go, that says top, so, and we can just randomly just stamp text to get that off there. Just randomly go around, add in bits of text, bits of script. Doesn't have to be lined up, doesn't even have to be legible really. And then you can turn it and do it so it runs the opposite way, or perpendicular, 90-degree angles. Create your own kind of tissue. There we go. How's that? So 2 different ways to use up, and then we can incorporate those into an art journal page if we want to. In fact, if we've got time, I will do it and maybe share some pictures with you. But that's literally just creating some nice background sheets that you can use in your art journals by using up stuff you've probably already got lying around and not have to go out and buy anything brand new whatsoever. Which is always good, because in these days, you know, money's not all that easy to come by. So being able to breathe new life into stuff that you've already got is definitely a bonus and a winner. So there you go. It's surprising what you can create just by using up some of your old stuff that's been sat there gathering dust forever. So as I said earlier, it's Saturday, but it's also the 30th of December, which means that this is probably my very last video of 2017. Obviously there will be my vlog, which will be going live in a few days. That will take in from Christmas Day up to New Year's Day. But this will be my last process video, if you like, for the year. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that supported me, continue to watch my videos throughout the year, and that subscribed to me this year. Thank you so much. It means the world to me that you've liked my videos so much that you've wanted to subscribe and carry on watching. And again, thank you so much for all the support, for everybody that's purchased products and stencils and downloads from my website. Without all that, I couldn't have kept on going, because that's really what takes the place of my normal day job. So thank you so much. So that's all from me for this year. I will see you all again next year. Bye for now. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without your kind donations, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.